The continuing lack of female numbers at executive levels suggests to me that more needs to be done to develop the higher level pipeline. And I think perhaps we need to sort of think about maybe doing something a bit more targeted for women, sort of knocking on the doors of C-suite levels, because we just aren't developing enough talent. We aren't bringing enough women through into those senior roles.
When we talk about organisational change, the words resistant and tension always spring to mind. We do have a lot of old school leaders still operating in our industry, and we still then therefore get that gender bias coming from them because it's what they've been used to. I mean, there was a time it was legislated that women couldn't go underground in coal mines. And this old school sort of attitude is what prevents women from reaching that senior leadership position in our sector. I know I've personally, over the years, had pushback from people accepting me as a leader in the industry. And I knew that it was gender that was my barrier, because I heard people say, look, girlie, this is the way it's done here. So I knew that they weren't accepting me for being the leader that I was, and accepting the position that I had.
In my experience, I've seen men are very supportive up until a point, but when you sit shoulder to shoulder at the table with them, it's then, we see that maybe they don't like the threat that you create. So we need egos left at the table. We need the realization after all of these years to finally say that the women exist, and it's time that the men in the industry change the mindset and take a far more risk-based approach and offer women seats at the table, even at the risk, to their egos or the risk to the industry, because it is the right thing for the industry.
Is a perception around, the skill set and whether women are ready yet. There's not ready yet concept, which I've heard so many times. And I think that is a barrier that we need to break through culturally within the organisation, especially in technical organisations like mining, where there's a very traditional skill set around engineering or technical skill sets.
I find that a lot of women, once they get to senior positions, they require to really have experience on operational site level. And they might come from different backgrounds in different ways. As myself, for example, legal or accounting and finance, and they might not necessarily have that exposure to the operational side of things. I find that flexibility from the leadership team on identifying exactly what traits they need for that individual to actually get to this high leadership position needs to be identified. So we're no longer going to look at the laundry list of what we would want to have in an ideal world, but to create sort of an ecosystem when women from different disciplines can reach those positions is important.